right, the Khaos List. Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right, Hanzo, here we go. Take N and Z, then throw in a O. Hanzo's the name, and this is the show. It don't matter what the haters say, cause everybody knows at the end of the day, the Khaos List comes on Tuesday nights. Describe it in word, dynamite. He brings fire to all the masses. He rocks a hoodie, a snapback, and a pair of glasses. Khaos List is the second show of the week. Questions so fire that they make you speak about issues that are universal. We talk about shit that's controversial. Sit back, chill, enjoy the show. His crew is ready. And here's Hanzo. Peace. Woo! Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Khaos List. Do not miss this. I'll say that one more time. Do not miss this. Peace. Is there any stuff?
Yo, what is up? What is up? What is going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Khaos List. We got the usual suspects in the house, and obviously our special guest, Mr. Mark. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Wakanda forever!
I can't say that.
Oh my God!
You know,
so
I can't say that,
buddy.
Why not?
Yeah,
Everybody
why not?
I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know if it's forever.
Yeah, it's
You got
forever.
Globetrot. That's why your ass
title.
ain't seen it.
Just the title of the movie. Surely you can say the title of the movie. If you walk up to the box office, what are you going to say? I like a ticket to?
It's a new Wakanda movie.
That black movie with the cat.
Mark, shout out your channel. Let the people them know where they can find you, brother.
Mark with a C is the channel. You can come on by. I light shit up all the time, man. It's like, nothing regular. It's just when I feel like throwing stuff out there, I jump on and I release. Sweet release. But I'm always talking about something, whether it's social, something that's philosophical. I just like to get a conversation started. So Mark with a C, come on by. You'll probably be offended by something, but it's all good, man. It's critical thinking, and critical thinking is never without risk.
Absolutely, 100%. Eli, shout out to the channel live from Hawaii over here.
Aloha! I'm Eli Hulu. I have a science show on YouTube called What's Up with the Universe, where I'm talking over from basic astronomy to complex astrophysics. As I have clear skies here in the middle Pacific, I'm going to do some astrophotography this week, because I have my telescope with me. So, if you guys want to see some cool pictures, some astrophotography, check out my Twitter and Instagram. If you don't know my Instagram, it's whatever this name is down here, Eli Hulu. That's it. And my Twitter is without the space here. And I'm also going to take Hanzo's advice, and I'm going to live stream from the beach with all the little hotties. So
there you go, Mr. Knight. Shout out.
It?
Oh, go ahead.
So
You're not finished.
Yeah. If you guys want a lot more updates, follow me on Twitter. Just like JJ used to say, sometimes I tweet, sometimes I retweet. It's a lottery. Come check me out. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely, Mr. Knight, your turn. You're muted.
Film with JJ.
Yes, still muted. All right, Donnie, go ahead.
Hey, I'm Danny AK Comic Chat. You can find me on this channel Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on Guy Star's channel at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. And then sometimes I pop in on Hanzo's channel, OCC, and we're ready to go. Should be a good one.
Hold on. The what, Danny?
OCC? OOC.
What did he
Wow. 100 episodes and Danny still can't get the name of my show right.
You know why? You fucking bash cops all the
time. I feel you. Let me say what's up to the chat real quick. We got Shifty Gizm, Dandelions in the house, Drop Shops in the house, David Quintano's in the house, Tony Robinson is there as well. Thank you guys for popping in. Much appreciated. Yes, we can. There you go, Chris. Shout out your channel.
Real Review 3000 here on Khaos Central 3 days a week, 4 days if we do a roundtable. That's on Sunday. Right now it's the Andor roundtable. And also run the Name That Tune stuff over on Honstar's channel. So tonight, after this, I got to wrap up some editing, but I have a Masking the Masked Singer over on the Real Review 3000. Thursday, we will have the Rumble. Tomorrow night, Rule of Three. So lots of stuff going on. But yes, thank you for having me as always.
Absolutely. Eyes only. Thank you. Miss Martin Muse, thank you once again, all you for coming in. Much appreciated. You know, it's always a pleasure when people come and hang out with us and we have some deep conversations. And we're going to have some conversations here tonight. That is correct.
And you are right, Ellen. Fluffy just ignored you.
Oh, no, I said Dandelion first. She was the first one I said.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Yeah, you see, you guys weren't paying attention. Go back and rewind. But just in case I didn't, what's up, Dandelion? How you doing? Thanks for coming. Yeah, so like I said, man, we got some conversations to happen, and I think well, it's a kind of a hot topic. So I'm gonna do a Rob Storms and milk it as much as I can for now. But we are gonna be talking some Wakanda forever, and also if we have a little bit of time, we'll talk about the Daredevil being mature rated, so that's a topic we could talk about as well. But we're gonna get into Wakanda Forever. Now, I think I spoke to everybody here on the panel. Mark, your thoughts on it? I seen your video, but your thoughts on it?
Wow. Wakanda Forever. Just for full disclosure, I did attempt to go see this movie a few days ago, and there was kind of a emergency, that I had to deal with. So I probably got maybe about 45 minutes in. I'm in the movie theater. I paid, man. I'm sitting there with my popcorn, and I had to leave. So I wasn't able to finish the movie. I'll get back to it some other time. I'm in no hurry to pay more money for this because I wasn't impressed by it. You guys know I have always been in the recast T'Challa camp. So it's not like I even went into this being objective. I have to admit that, but I did keep an open mind because after all, I've said from the very beginning, there's a ton of talent involved in this movie. There's a ton of talent, and I would never take that away from anybody who's in there. I respect these people, and it wouldn't have surprised me if they did come up with a good, enjoyable movie, which is a matter of opinion. Some people are obviously going to love this thing. Some people are not going to love it. My problems with this movie is about the creative decisions that they made. Okay, so I can go back and forth with plot points and all that stuff, but ultimately, if it worked for you, then it worked for you. But really, I just don't feel like this was the way to go, and I don't respect the decisions that they made in terms of killing T'Challa or letting him die. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. So it's put a bad taste in my mouth. I feel like it's insulting to Black men. And, that's where I'm going to start with it.
Cool. And I'll say I was right there with you guys. I was on the Dark Council with you guys, and we were talking about the recast T'Challa and how I was like, yeah, you need to recast T'Challa. I was right there with you guys. And then I watched the movie, and I was like, you know what? I kind of think that maybe it was a good idea that they didn't recast him, right? And I'm going to give you a little bit why. Is because at the beginning of the movie, when you see the logo, right? You see the logo, you see all of Chadwick Boseman, you see all his performances. And then I'm like, you're watching the movie and someone else is playing him, right? I thought that would have kind of been weird for me, right? And then what they did at the end of the movie had me saying, okay, well, they didn't. Yes, technically they killed him, but we will get another T'Challa, right? And this goes kind of into the first topic, which is what I've been seeing on Twitter a lot, is that T'Challa was a deadbeat dad. You know what I mean? And I always say, listen, if you're going to criticize the movie, that's fine. But then when you start talking all this nonsense to me, I'm going to have to push back on that. So let me get Eli whose thoughts. What do you think about them saying he was a deadbeat dad? Well, yeah, I didn't see the movie, but do you know much about it, Eli?
I know a little bit about the deadbeat dad thing. I know about the quote-unquote recast T'Challa thing. I just want to first say that the recast T'Challa reminded me a whole lot of Christopher Reeve. When he died, nobody wanted a new Superman. Now everybody loved the new Superman incarnation. Yeah, even Tom Welling, okay? People actually agree with that. His incarnation is if you can recast Ross, why can't they recast another actor? I don't care. He's playing a character. He's not playing Chadwick in the MCU. He's playing a character. Yeah, a character. Hollywood has replaced characters all the time. Look in the 50s, 60s. They replaced Darren B. Witch, okay? Nobody cared. Nobody noticed. Nobody really cared. They replaced, but there was the movie Black Dynamite. They even talked about that. When he slapped him, they had a whole new actor there. The guy he slapped. He played himself on that one. Like, I don't care if they recast T'Challa or not. He was an actor. He was a great actor, but he was just an actor. Come on. Whether he was a deadbeat dad or not, you're going into characterization. Stop analyzing characters. That has nothing to do with the plot of the movie. I haven't seen the movie, and I know for a fact it has nothing to do with the plot of the movie. So stop speculating and picking apart a character's, analyzing a character's defect, quote unquote, defect flaw, okay?
So let me give you some context.
Not some hidden backstory in your own psychological candor.
But let me give you some context, Eli, because the deadbeat dad comes from, of course, you know about the child, right? So T'Challa has a child. They named the child T'Challa, but people are saying he's a deadbeat dad because the child was living in Haiti and not in Wakanda with them, right? So that's basically where the deadbeat dad stuff comes on. I want to hear what Chris has to say. Chris.
So is this child supposed to have been before the last movie or during the last movie or what? The child was to watch it, but I'm okay.
You didn't see it either.
It's all right. No, it's okay because I've heard stuff already. I'm not worried about that, but I can give you my opinion if I know a little more about that. So is it
the child was conceived before, after Endgame? Okay. Before Endgame. No, before he got blipped.
Okay. Well, so if he got blipped, yeah, you know. I don't know. People are going to make their own assumptions on that and whatnot. That, you know, deadbeat dad. It's a fictional character. You know, it can be built into the universe. Was there a reason why the child was living in Haiti?
They didn't want him to be a part of like the royal and the pressures of being the prince of
who raised
Wakanda?
The child.
Well, Nakia did, but that's where it comes in, right? Because a lot of people are thinking because it was in Haiti that T'Challa had no contact with his son. Well, first off, he got blipped for 5 years, so that would probably be hard to do. But when he did, when he was around, it was their decision for them to move him to
see, that's like somebody trying to say, you know, oh, you can jump on somebody for getting an abortion. Listen, ultimately, the person who suffers from it is the person who decides to have the abortion. Or if you make that hard decision that your child is better living up someplace else rather than with you, which I have family members who chose that for some of their kids before a certain time, and then as they got through whatever issues were going on in their life or whatever problems that they did it for, when they get to a better spot in their life, they went back and they got the child. Listen, sometimes the hardest thing is to be honest with yourself and say, maybe this isn't the best place for a kid. So calling him a deadbeat dad for making a decision like that, if it's built into the world and all that, that's just people making this assumption of a deadbeat dad.
Is it possible that they were calling him a deadbeat dad and misunderstanding what that term means? Maybe what they meant was absentee father. You know, maybe that would be a little bit better.
Well, you know, even then, absentee father, I don't know.
He's not. He means he's not there, right? Absentee means he's not in his life, and so no, that's incorrect as well. Like,
and because you have this in
what we know his visitation.
Pardon me.
Do we know his?
I didn't hear the question. That's the thing.
We know what his visitation schedule was.
No, but by the way she talks in the movie, he had a partner, right? He had say in what happened. Now, he's in Wakanda, yes, he's the prince, but that doesn't mean that those ships can fly to Haiti in less than 10 minutes. So it doesn't necessarily mean that he wasn't there, right? So if you want to say it's an assumption that he was in the life, it's also an assumption that he wasn't there. But I think with the details of the movie kind of give us the clue that he was actually there before he died.
While being a king, while being a protector of a country. He was also there for his son in a completely different place.
Yes.
See, this is the creative.
They got these spaceship like vehicles. They can get anywhere they want fairly quickly. I mean,
he can travel, but when you're a parent, when you're a father, you're there or you're not there. You know what I mean? It's like, are you singing him to sleep? Are you telling him stories at his bedside? Are you listening
so are
to him?
all people in the military deadbeat dads?
Exactly.
I didn't say
Can I say
deadbeat
something?
dad.
Can I
That
say
Okay,
wasn't
I'm
my
absentee
saying
term.
you're saying that. I'm using that as a reference.
Okay, you're
Same one
using
I
it to
use.
respond to what I said, which is not relevant to what I said.
Okay.
You know what I'm
All
saying?
right.
So that's what I'm saying. See, the thing is, it's so important to get this right here because I don't trust Hollywood. Okay, and that's the
No.
thing. It's like these people, like they're getting a giant pass because they put a bunch of black people out there and said this is for you. All right, so people are getting their black cards punched or canceled based upon their opinion on this film. But to me, that's not even you can't do that because this isn't like it was developed or created or like it's a Hollywood production, you know. So with a Hollywood production comes Hollywood agendas and things like that. So you have to put everything that you see in Hollywood under the microscope. So if you know that you come from a people who have a problem with fathers who are not necessarily plugged into their children because they're not getting along with the mother or whatever the case may be, and you had a superhero, the first black Marvel superhero, who is a king, who has now been separated from his son, right? I mean, even if he went to go visit him on the weekends, listen, I'm a father, you know, who started off only seeing my son on the weekends. I was miserable. I actually told this story on video a long time ago. You know, when I realized the reality of that, I remember sitting down on my bed and crying. I don't have any shame, you know, to be able to say that. It's like I want my son under my roof. Okay, I want to give him all the lessons of life that he deserves, all the attention that he deserves. The best thing that my ex-wife ever did was say he can learn more from you than me. And that's the reason why he's here today. All right. So what I'm saying is this character, this regal character, they made a conscious decision. These were writers who did this because you said he's a fictional character. So it could have gone one way or the other. They chose to do it this way. And that's the problem I have with it. Why would you choose that? We can accept it, but why would you choose that is the question, especially coming from Hollywood.
So let Danny respond first before I let someone else because he hasn't said anything. Danny, what are your thoughts?
I think based on what we've seen from Nakia, she didn't speak like a woman that had malice or hatred towards T'Challa. She seemed like they were in it together. And when she was talking to Okoye, she was like, "He's my T'Challa." She didn't speak like a woman that was scorned or had ill will or pissed off. She sounded like a woman that respected her man. And even they said, and correct me if I'm wrong, that he prepared his son for his death, and I think they call him Baba, and the son knew his daddy. He wasn't someone guessing. He said, "I am Prince T'Challa." So based on what I've seen, and based on how I think Ryan Coogler would have written it, I don't think he would have written it in a way that would make Chadwick Boseman look like someone other than a devoted father that cared for his country as well as his son as best he could.
Absolutely, and that's why, and that's why I use the theory of like a person in the military, right? Okay, so let's not use deadbeat father, but absentee father, right? That you can't say that they're still not in the kid's life, right? Some of these guys are gone for years. You know what I mean? Gone for years. But when they're gone, all they think about is their kid. When they come back, it's with their kid. The T'Challa was the king of Wakanda, which meant he could do whatever he wanted to. So he could run he could run Wakanda, or he could have someone else run Wakanda while he's off chilling with his kid for the week or the month or the weekend, right? So when we watch the movie, we get the impression, like Danny said, that he is actually in his life. You know what I mean? It's not like they make it seem like he's not. They make it like he's in his life.
Either you're there or you're not. When he's not there, he's not there. And when you talk about the military,
hold on, Danny, you sound funny. Go ahead.
Trail mix, bro.
Did you
Easy.
hear anything I said?
Okay.
You know,
Are you eating out of an oat bag?
No, you got to finish what you were saying because you got cut off.
I said, based on what I've
go
heard from
ahead.
Nakia, she didn't sound like a woman that was mad or pissed off or not appreciative of T'Challa's efforts. She said in the movie to Okoye that it was her T'Challa and that it was just too tough for her to come back. And then she also made reference to that T'Challa had prepared his son and them for his death because he knew he was sick. And it didn't sound like a woman that was mad or had any ill will or any kind of was in her feelings about anything other than supporting her son and respecting T'Challa's wishes. So I didn't get the negative stuff or the deadbeat dad. And I don't think Ryan Coogler would have allowed that perception to seep in based on his friendship with
Yeah,
Chadwick Boseman.
I think we've already established the deadbeat dad thing is ridiculous. You know, it's just
Yeah.
about the I said absentee father, but what I'm really talking about is if he's a king, you want your prince by your side. You're training him. He's supposed to be observing you. You know, I wouldn't expect that Nakia was going to give him a hard time. I mean, this ain't a Tyler Perry movie. You know what I'm saying? There's not going to be all that extra baby mama drama stuff going on. You know, the movie is there to make these women look good, so they're going to look good. But you know, the point of it is you were talking about military fathers who are gone, or mothers for that matter too. It's like we've all seen on the news when a military parent comes home to surprise their child at school, you know, and the child is like in tears. They're running up because they miss them, because they weren't there for things. All right. So it's not a matter of do they love them or do they respect them, but either they're there or they're not. All right. And when he's not there, because he can't be everywhere at once, he is a king and he is out here being an Avenger part-time, you know, saving the world and stuff like that. The child is going to miss them. You know, I work a lot of overtime. You know, my son, he loves me all over the place. I love him too. But I do feel some kind of way because I am working a lot of overtime. And sometimes, you know, I have to miss practices and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's sometimes it's just like it's a choice that they made for the writers. I'm saying it's like I don't understand why they would make that choice, you know, to write that particular scenario. If you're not trying to show us something that we need to see, like our community needs this. Black Panther symbolizes this, and you can't feign ignorance on this because we saw the effect that it had all over the world with the first movie. You know, little boys, little girls celebrating. They loved it. You're not going to get that from this. For God's sake, this thing opens up with that person that they love, that character dying. It's like what happened to giving the people something to be happy about, to cheer about, to feel good about. You know what I mean? Like I can enjoy that movie, but there's a such thing as consultants, like psychology consultants. I heard somebody say before that George Lucas went to a psychologist, a child psychologist, to see how children would react to the concept of Darth Vader being Luke Skywalker's father. You know, it's like I wonder if that same consideration was made for our children who love this character to open up a movie seeing him die. You know what I'm saying? It's like the movie can be great. You can enjoy it as an individual. I can too. But who cares about the kids who need this? You know what I mean? Like now, because if you talk about the little boy who's going to grow up and stuff like that, by the time he grows up as a character, you know how fast time goes by. Children of today in 5 years won't be children. And they still have to walk out into these ghettos and into these hoods every day who need that. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is where's our responsibility to them while we're enjoying this movie?
But we're gonna get that. You
Can I
see?
say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Eli.
Okay. I was off my train of thought. It's been a while. Yeah, I did lose my train of thought. What was I doing? Sorry. Shit, I was gonna say.
All right, Chris, your thoughts?
It'll come back to me.
If it's built into it, listen, again,
Now I remember.
I get what Mark's saying. I get what you're saying, Mark. I understand. It is a questionable way to approach this type of a subject, especially considering the predominant ethnic background of the people in the movie. I mean, because as you said, that is something that is glaring an issue in a lot of households within African American or Black descended people. It is an issue, and to use that in a way and not fully hash it out and explain it to where there is no like wiggle room on that. If they don't explain it properly, I understand that. But again, there is an issue. There is the consideration of if they give you the story of she took care of him, he was there as much as he could be, she didn't have an issue with it, they made the decision together, that this then becomes more of a thing of we felt what was best for the child was this, and we weighed all of the circumstances. As long as that's conveyed, I don't call it that him being an absentee or a deadbeat father. I call that a tough decision, being, as his dad would say, a king or a prince. Those are tough decisions that have to be made. That's how I would see it. Now, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know how I feel about it once I watch it. But I understand your thought process behind it, because you're absolutely right. That is a very questionable thing to bring into a movie when they could have just simply made it that she had the child someplace other than the palace and that he stayed with her away from the daily duties. He stayed away from the palace, but in Wakanda with her and the child. That could have been just as easily done. And they just said, we just kept the child away from the palace. So when I had to go to work, like you or me, when we get up in the morning and we go to work at whatever job or whatever, we would drive there and we walk there or whatever, and that the child isn't a part of that part of the world, but he's still there, and I get to spend every night with him. They could have done that just as easily too.
That's my whole point.
And so there is the very real question of why didn't they just do something like that?
So the reason why is because nobody knew about T'Challa except for Nakia and Black Panther. Nobody else knew about the child. So now you're gonna have a child living close to Wakanda or in Wakanda, and it's like, hey, who's this kid that he's going to see all the time, right? He wanted him far away from that as possible. K-Dots, he lived with his mother. Like you're saying, he country without his mother and father. He lived with his mother. He didn't live with T'Challa, but he lived with his mother. So I don't understand that.
Like every other father that's out here today. Like, we can't have an ideal. That's the thing. That's what I'm looking for. Remember when the Cosby Show first came out and everybody was like, oh, that's unrealistic. You know, a Black family doing good, you know, the father, mother together, both professionals. You know, at the time, it got a lot of criticism from people who just couldn't wrap their mind around a Black man and a Black woman being together, being well off, and raising some well-adjusted children, you know, an ideal. And as a result of that, we got a different world. When we got a different world, enrollment in colleges went through the roof with Black people, with Black, you know, young Black people. It's like they knew what to do with a positive image. We were uplifted by that. We were inspired by that. That's the power of these things. For people who say it's just a movie, it's just a TV show, it's just a song, it has never, ever been that. Everything that they put in front of us is there to influence us. You know, we understand the commercials are there to sell us things. All right. But these things that we watch, they're there to sell us ideas and values and everything. So why can't we, especially in this particular case, when you have Black Panther, like I said, Marvel's first Black superhero, finally on the big screen that has resonated with so many people, why can't we have an ideal where that king and that Nakia, you know, she could have been his queen, you know, they could have shown them together, strong, in love, raising a well-adjusted child for all to see. But they made that conscious decision not to. I know why it works. I'm asking you, why would they have made that decision?
So I'll tell you why. And this is a little bit where it comes into the original script, which I just found out a few days ago. And don't quote me on it because I haven't read it. Someone just told me. But supposedly the original script, the kid was still supposed to be there. And it was supposed to be T'Challa having to deal with the fact that he was blipped for 5 years and wasn't around in the child's life. So I think they just made little alterations. But that child was always supposed to be a part of this movie. That's what I hear, right? Okay. So because of that, what they did was, well, let's just say that, you know, they moved him to Haiti, T'Challa died. But again, like I said, if a father is going to see his child every weekend or every 2 days or every 3 days, regardless of whether he lives in Hawaii, Haiti, Wakanda, whatever, he's still a part of that
Hawaii.
child's life. Because you're in Hawaii, that's why he's still a part of that child's life. He can still have influence in that child's life. He can still mold that child's life, right?
Undoubtedly.
So,
I said, yeah, I don't doubt that. I'm talking about talking about an ideal. Why can't we have the best case scenario? Why do we just have to have this? You know, he can do this. He can still be a part of his life. Why can't he just be in his life like all the time? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a creator, why would you make that decision? You know, that's all I'm saying. Why would you make that decision when you know that the people love this character? The people were so uplifted by this character, and you made this conscious decision to make him less than what he could have been. That's what I'm saying. And I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired of dealing with this half-ass shit that they give us from Hollywood. That's what I'm saying. You know, I love us. You know, I love who we are.
Yeah,
I want to see us at our full potential.
All right, Eli, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to say this. The reason why people are calling T'Challa a quote-unquote deadbeat dad is because people like to pick up people who have black skin. Nobody said jack shit when Ego was a deadbeat, give away a shitty dad when he dropped off Quill. Nobody said any jack shit about that because why? He's a white guy. He wasn't a deadbeat dad. He was doing his thing. All of a sudden, you got a black superhero, a black guy who has a kid way over there. Oh no, he's a dead dad. He's a deadbeat dad. I think this is because Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa, black skin, Ego, white skin. Nobody talked about this abandonment dad issues when Guardians of the Galaxy 2 came out. So this is bullshit.
Or Ant-Man with Scott.
It's not necessarily bullshit because we have our own set of concerns and problems in the black community. We tend to latch on to the few images that we have.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
I apologize if you took my statement wrong. What I was trying to say is that it's a trope. It's a society, quote unquote, society thing. People harsh on people with colored skin more than they do with people with white skin. This is the trope people are doing. Like I said, it's T'Challa. It's someone with black skin who has an abandonment issue with a kid. Oh no, they're not going to go to society for the black person. The white person does it. Nobody really says anything about this. That's what I was trying to say. Do you understand what I mean?
It was the same thing with Ant-Man. Ant-Man was not in his child's life that much either.
Yeah.
He was in jail. He was all kinds of shit. No one ever called him a deadbeat dad.
Yeah, because he was a card-born criminal.
Well, I'm not. I understand what you're saying about that one with Ant-Man, but the difference there is again on screen we saw that he wanted to be there. It's just that between the mom and the new boyfriend or husband, they didn't want him to be there. So it was like this, whatever moment he got with that child, it did show on screen that he was that was precious to him. I mean, but again, I go back to, I understand exactly what Mark's saying about the fact that Hollywood does this, and yeah, you can make a reason for, okay, it works within the story. It's okay because I don't think he's a deadbeat dad. I don't think he is, or I don't think he's an absentee father. They decided it together like good parents do. The decision came out that yes, while it was tough, the child was going to live with his mother in Haiti and not there. Okay, that's all fine and dandy, but I get exactly what he's saying. He's like, Hollywood though doesn't care if the stereotype of deadbeat dads is predominantly black America, and that if somebody decides to call him a deadbeat dad, that's okay because they don't even think about that. They didn't really think the process out of what they were doing, or if they did, they left it open-ended enough that there's an issue there. That again, Hollywood is you got to be careful with what you let Hollywood decide because it can leave things open-ended. And I understand that completely. It's a subjective thing, and that's the problem, is that it's subjective enough that quite possibly a large portion of people in America watching that film.
But you see, this is the point. It's like, why is it the negative? That's the first thing people run to, right? I just gave an option to where he could still... I just gave an option to where he could still be a part of the kid's life, but no one's. It's like no, the negative. It's not this, not this. And I'm just like, why are we focusing on the negative? No, not you, Chris. I'm just saying.
You know what it is, Enzo. We got in the first movie, we got an ideal, and that's what I'm talking about. Okay, people's imaginations went to places it never went to before. How great can we be? You know, where's the limit for us? There is no limit for us. It made people dream and it made people believe. That's what made those children dance. That's what made adults show up to the movie theater dressed up, dancing, who never even heard of the comic, but just love what they saw on the screen. You know, so when you ask people to imagine us at our best, an ideal, and you follow it up with something like this, it's an issue because we tend to be judged by the worst of us. When you go on Twitter, people love posting clips of Black people wilding out at McDonald's, jumping over the bar. It makes them feel good. You know what I mean? Look at them. There they go again. They love to look at us rioting. Look at them. There they go again. There would be no evening news without us because God knows they leave with us in every broadcast. So forgive me if I want you to follow up with what you promised us. You know what I mean? I don't want to see this bullshit that I see outside my door and outside my window every single day. All right, I can accept that it's a good movie. I can accept the reasons why they did these things. I don't trust Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? For God's sake, give us what you said that you were going to give us. Oh, we care so much about Black people. We care so much about representation. You know, give us the ideal.
And I'll let Danny go in a second. I'll let Danny go and then I got something to say after that. Go ahead, Danny.
Mark, I hear what you're saying, and I don't totally disagree. I just think that the same magic that Black Panther the first one made, I saw some of that in my theater, and I can only speak for me. And I shared this with the guys on the stream yesterday. When I went the second time, it was all Black people. I mean, from toddlers to old people, wheelchairs. The only two White people there was my grandsons, and I was like, oh, okay. And they sit right beside me, and I was like, okay. But my grandsons loved it. I can show you a picture now. My youngest grandson wants to be Black Panther. When I saw it, I was like, damn, it's kind of strong. And he went to the place. He picked it out. He's Black Panther. I asked him when I got in the truck, how'd you like the movie? Grandpa, it was good. Now, that same magic that it had for Black little boys, white or Black, I think this movie is having that same effect for little girls because they're seeing now Shuri as Black Panther. I think the same magic that it had for little Black boys and fathers, it's having for fathers and their daughters because now their daughters are seeing someone, a superhero that's strong, intelligent, and smart. And this movie portrays Black people in a very positive light. You don't see any crack dealers, any drug dealers, any hoes, pimps, and that stuff. You see regal, smart, intelligent, strong women. Angela Bassett. For me, her performance was just as strong as Neymar's. When she was on the screen, especially in the opening screen and at the end, and when she was talking and when she fired Okoye, the shit was fire. Now, will she get nominated for an Oscar? Probably not, but she damn sure deserved it because to me, she carried that movie. And when I left that movie, I told Anzo, man, I felt proud, man, because when I went in that theater, it was only nothing but Black people in there. And when I just came from an appointment now, you see Black Panther, man, that thing. So that conversation is happening with me. I don't know where you at, and I'm not saying your opinion is whatever it is your opinion, but I'm saying for me, this movie, and I'm not saying for any other Black movie, but for this movie, I was proud of it. I was proud because they show respect and reverence to T'Challa. For those of us that were on the line of T'Challa should be recasted or he should be recasted, I kind of think it was a happy medium. Is it a perfect fix for some? No, but it was a compromise. He's going to be recasted. Maybe not the same person, but his namesake will live on, and there are stories that coincides with this storyline because I did some research. I didn't show last night, and I'll show you. I went to the comic book store last night, and I bought all kind of Black Panther shit to make sure that I'm right. And Black Panther wasn't even raised in Wakanda. T'Challa was not raised in Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same sort of thing. Now, he's not going to have this T'Challa raised in Wakanda because he wants to see how the world is
so he can make better decisions and not decisions based on solely being the protector of Wakanda and being stingy with the vibranium. So that's the story I think Ryan Coogler is going with. And I heard you say it in your one of your videos that somebody said Ryan Coogler is directly responsible for killing. I think one of the best black superheroes. I don't say that. I think grief. People handle grief all different kind of ways. There was a video where he said he was struggling. So when you're struggling, when you're depressed, when you get grief, sometimes you don't necessarily think like you normally would when you're on your A game. I'm not saying that as an excuse for him. I'm just saying that as a possibility with people that have grief and people that are suffering from depression. So, I mean, could this movie been better? Probably so. Could they have done something differently? Probably so. But what I saw the 3 times that I went, I was happy with.
And I'm gonna elaborate too, because I agree with Danny. I'm like, listen, like what Black Panther did for black men, Black Panther 2 can do for young black women, right? Let's not forget that, right? We have a strong Sherry who went through a bunch of emotions through the whole movie, overcame those emotions, became the Black Panther, and prevailed, right? That's something that's positive for young black women. And not to mention the fact that we have a new T'Challa, we will eventually in the future get that king of Wakanda, that same kind of T'Challa that Chadwick Boseman was, and they can incorporate certain things that they were going to do with T'Challa, they can do it with the child. So they didn't kill off a black character. He's on hiatus. When he grows up, we will have that Black Panther. That's why I'm like, that's why the recast T'Challa, I had to change that, because I'm like, okay, well, if they had named him something else, T'Chaka, I know that's his father, but let's just say they had named him T'Chaka, then I could 100% agree with you guys and be like, yeah, they killed T'Challa. But because they gave him that name, they can carry on with what they are going to do or what they had planned to do with Chadwick Boseman. That's my point.
So,
you know,
so because he has the name, you're satisfied. Like if it been T'Chaka, that would have made a difference for you. The man is dead.
If it was
the character,
right, if it was
dead.
The character is dead in the MCU, but they just scratched the surface with T'Challa in the MCU, right? They didn't get into all the meat, but no, because he died. But what I'm trying to say is Chadwick Boseman died. Yeah, that's why he only had one movie. I get that, but with the new T'Challa, they can do everything that they were going to do with Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa. This is my point. This was their way of recasting without pretty much saying, hey guys, we're just going to recast. This was their way to recast, because maybe in Black Panther 3, maybe 4, we're going to get a full-grown T'Challa.
Why have they never done that with any other character?
Or how about Young Avengers?
So this is new territory. I mean,
how's it new territory? Actors, people die all the time.
You're absolutely right, but I'm just going to give you a fact. Superman 4 to Return Superman, that was 19 years. I got to look it up. He got hurt. They didn't recast him, but we didn't see Superman anywhere for 19 years. So we're not going to see T'Challa that we know, let's say 6 or 7 years. What's the difference? Same thing.
The difference is little kids who need that today. I mean, why? Like we're going to act like these kids out here don't have their own particular set of needs that he appeals to. I'm talking about the kids in the hood who every day are walking to school, getting bullied, having to step over crack pipes and all that stuff. They need that now, man. By the time you're talking about 5-6 years, they're going to be through their these things. You know what I mean?
And there's going to be a new generation of kids that are going to need it just as well.
Let's say
these kids here are disposable. They're expendable. Then
no, based on what you said, T'Challa's still living. Chadwick Boseman's still living. T'Challa is alive and well, but they decided to put him on hiatus for 10 years because they ain't in the story. What's the difference?
First of all, they exploited his death. All right, that's what they did. They exploited his death.
I disagree with that.
How did they not? The actor died. The character did not die. They made the character die because the actor died.
Right. And here's another reason, right? So you recast T'Challa. You know what's going to happen? People are going to sit there and say, well, he was good, but he wasn't as good as Chadwick Boseman. They're going to do that regardless when you recast him, right? But now that you have a new T'Challa, right? That one died. You can't compare the two and say, oh, well, he's better and this and that, because it's technically a different person. right?
Of course
But
they
now
will.
people, what do you mean?
Of course they will. They'll always say, was he as good as the other one?
They might, but it's going to be a different T'Challa. So it's going to be a different person, right? So you can't compare a son to a father, right? You can't be like, oh, well, this guy did it this way, because they're not playing the same character. They have the same namesake, but they're not playing the same character, right? When you're playing the same character, when you recast T'Challa in this movie, there will be a lot more people probably complaining that the movie wasn't as good because T'Challa was recast and this guy wasn't a good actor and blah, 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 blah. I can understand if these guys, Ryan Coogler and all them, didn't want to hear all of that nonsense.
Yeah,
well, what are they hearing? What are they hearing now, though? What are they hearing now? They're never going to be free from criticism. They're getting the criticism right now. You got recast T'Challa pretty much trending every single day, and they know it.
So and that's where it comes up to the next topic is the recast T'Challa as bad as the Snyderverse. And I think it kind of is, because you're getting a new T'Challa. Like, people don't understand this. Yes, I get it. They killed off T'Challa, but they're going to have a new T'Challa in there, a new character. He's going to be the king of Wakanda. He's going to be the protector, and he's going to have the same name as T'Challa. He's going to be T'Challa. That is your recast. That is going to be your recast. In the next movie, when they time jump and he's 27 or whatever he is, he's going to be T'Challa. So they just need to continue the storylines that they planned to do before he died.
They're going to do that. Obviously, they own it. They're going to do what they want to do. But there are people who are going to feel a certain kind of way about it. So, and I don't think I don't think this is in any way comparable to the whole release the Snyder Cut thing, because there are real life social issues that are in this. You know what I mean? It's not just what people want to see, it's what it represented to others. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been getting dogged in my comment section now for days, for people who just can't understand that it's not about me and what I want. I said when I'm talking about my channel, I said I am a social commentator. I observe and I talk about what I see. Okay, so it's not about, oh, well, I got my little hurt feelings because I didn't get what I want. This is just what I want to see. I'm looking around at how this affects other people, how it affects children. Like I said before, it's not just about me sitting in a movie theater someplace. There are people who do feel like they were betrayed by this thing, and I totally understand that. And I don't think that either they didn't think about it or they just didn't care.
Danny, you were going to say something?
I forgot.
It's okay.
I forgot to do that one time.
Hey, Robert Storm, who's bitch, please?
Yeah, I don't know.
Bitch, please? Who up here is a bitch? Any one of us?
Yeah. We won't be disrespecting. We won't be disrespecting anybody on the panel today. Everybody has their own opinion. We're here to discuss it. I don't think he meant it personally. You know what I mean? But there'll be no disrespect. I should have said that at the beginning of the stream because I was thinking about it as well. Because I see the shit you get in your comments, right? And I think it's fucking disgusting. 100%. I think the comments you get are disgusting, and I don't fucking like them. 100%. Everybody's entitled to have their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to that. And just because we differ on opinions doesn't mean that people can go in your comments and call you all kinds of names, bro. So
you know what? And let me ask you something. What the hell am I saying that's so wrong that people can come at me this way? All right. What the hell am I saying except look out for the children, protect the sanctity of the black family? You know what I'm saying? People need to be thinking about that. What's the reason why I get pushback for saying these things? Where's the mortal sin in saying we should be looking out for our unions, the relationships between our children? Does that earn me that type of thing?
What you're saying, I think, is some of the stuff we kind of splitting hairs. Because you kind of on one side of the fence with something, but am I mad or pissed off? No, and you're entirely correct. So I apologize for that comment. But what you said is not totally incorrect. What Robert said. What Robert said. But I'm just saying, it seems, and I've heard you saying, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, on some of your videos, you were saying that little black boys looked up to this, and there's a father and relationship bond when you take your son to these type movies, right? Am I kind of in the same part saying that?
I've talked about that a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just saying, in my opinion,
Keep talking.
we get
about
from
it.
this movie, we can have that same relationship with a father and a daughter. And I see where Lorena was saying something. She's like, "There's no way that Shuri in the third act could take that kind of beat." I mean, the heart shaped herb. I mean, it gave T'Challa all kind of powers and healing ability. So why wouldn't it do the same for her? I know Namor is a man, but I mean, look at Wonder Woman. She beats man's ass,
Namor's a mutant.
but whatever. You know what I'm talking about, bro. So I'm just saying the heart shaped herb gives whoever has it special powers and abilities, skills, that kind of stuff. So the fact that he was beating on her and she was beating on him, I don't see where that's relevant. And that just making a comment to that. But to go back to what you're saying, and I don't want to sound redundant. You have a right to say what you said, and I think that we haven't agreed on many things, but I've told you when I watch your videos, man, it's very insightful. I hear what you're saying, and I, to a certain extent, agree with you about not trusting Hollywood, but I do trust Ryan Coogler. I don't think, based on what I've seen, I could be fooled that he would do anything intentionally to disparage or disgrace or disrespect Chadwick Boseman's name. I think that was his friend. And I think with what he had, and then probably was time constraints, hey, you got to get this done, this, and this. Was it his best work or the perfect idea? I'll give you that. But I think based on what he had to do and could do, and to make it, and I think the little boy being named T'Challa was a compromise because there were so many people, like you said, and I believe 1,000% that he's seeing what they're saying. Hashtag recast T'Challa. I don't think he wanted to do that based on the decision him and Kevin Feige made, and it could have been what you classify as a knee-jerk reaction. I don't know. As time passes, they may do something differently. I think right now, based on what he was feeling and what he was saying, and we don't know what his relationship was with Chadwick Boseman's family. We don't know what conversation he may have had on Chadwick Boseman's last days. I don't know that. But maybe he felt that this was a compromise that, yeah, we didn't totally recast him, but we're going to live out your dreams, your wishes, your wants through your son. So to me, that is a compromise, and I can live with that compromise, if that makes sense.
I'll just say something too. I talked about fathers and sons, but in that same video, I said daughters as well. I said that girls also needed the image of T'Challa.
No, I'm not talking about your last video. I'm talking about videos in the past.
Okay,
last video, you did say that 1,000%.
I've said it. I've always said it. I talk about fathers and sons because of me and my son. All right, but daughters, black daughters in particular need their fathers. It's like we have all taken advantage of quite a few girls who didn't have their fathers, obviously, in their upbringing. You know what I mean? And it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference when you meet a young woman who had their father's influence versus one who didn't. Okay, so that image is equally as important. So why wouldn't Shuri have met T'Chaka? Like these are the creative decisions that I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It's like they went out of their way to not have that, to not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I question that. And I do question Ryan Coogler. I don't think that he's above being questioned because he is of Hollywood. He signed the contract. He's got to do what they tell him to do as well. So to me, it all has to be questioned because I got to tell you guys, all right, I love all of you. Okay. As black men, I'm going to speak to you guys specifically. Okay. I love everybody on this panel for sure. All right. But as black men, we have to stop this thing that we have. There is an attack on our image, and it's nothing new. It's always been there. That's the reason why, like I said before, we get perceived the way that we get perceived in the world. You know what I'm talking about. All right. So it has to be questioned. All of this has to be questioned. I am tired of it. I'm tired of it. I don't care if I'm the only person who feels this way. I don't care if, like I said, it doesn't matter you know, how many people come into my comment section wanting to call me all types of coons and bitch please and all that stuff. It doesn't matter. You know, I know that I'm right on this, and the time is now to turn it around. The time is now to be questioning all of this, because if we just let it go, then we're giving this to our children to inherit. As men, I feel like our community is waiting for us to say enough. We have a king, you know what I'm saying, who is here. The first, and I say it again, the first black superhero that Marvel ever made is here. You creatively chose to have him be dead here, even if he's got a son somewhere. You know, you chose to have his son be raised without him. Now, the way Hollywood is now, the way Marvel is now, what's to stop them from making his son, I don't know, bisexual, gay, or something like that? Not saying that it's something that is just, oh, it's just so terrible and stuff, but just because it's too much of a gimmick and it's irresponsible. You know what I mean? I don't feel that
what
sense of
stops them
responsibility with these people.
What would
Go
have
ahead,
stopped
Chris.
them from doing that, even if they did recast him, or if Chadwick Boseman hadn't have died? What stops them from
Facts.
doing it anyways? I mean,
I
I
said
get
I
what
don't
you're
trust
saying
Hollywood,
again,
man.
well,
Right,
yeah, but
but
it doesn't stop them from doing it now. It didn't stop
But the
them.
fact that they
Even if
did
they had recasted T'Challa, they wouldn't have stopped them from doing that to his son.
I am not comfortable with the constant removal of the black man from his family, from his kingdom,
And I
all
get
of
that.
that. It is significant. It is
I
significant.
get that.
Okay, so that's all I'm saying.
I was on the train of, if they recast him, I was more on the train, let's not recast him. Let's get the family to agree to trying to do limited CGI with whenever he wasn't in costume, and honor Chadwick Boseman through this movie, and then try to figure out what to do. Because I know somewhere here somebody said, well, they're going to make T'Challa the child, the next Black Panther somewhere down the line. They're going to do a time jump in the next movie. Well, that's fine. But what stopped them from doing CGI work to keep Chadwick Boseman in this part through that, and then the time jump, between that time jump, then you could have said he had died. There was a way to make this work with T'Challa as the king with his son and all of that. There was a way to make it work. I understand that, and I am on that train with you for that. This was I honestly said they needed to wait this one out, because I thought that they rushed this movie to production, because a lot of stuff happened with his death and stuff that they probably, whatever they're doing in it, they probably could have done a lot better, because there's a lot to deal with when you're
a lot better.
Yeah,
hell yeah, they could have done a lot better.
We're
a lot better. We're a lot better. They're asking us to believe that there's only one black actor who could have pulled this off. All of the black talent that's out there, you know, who's waiting for an opportunity,
there's that too.
who don't get these roles every single day, who have to pick up the crumbs of a whitewashed or a blackwashed character. Oh, hey, how would you like to be Black Superman? How would you like to be Black Hawkman? You know what I'm saying? This character in particular is what I'm talking about. This is an honest character,
and we will get that. That's what I'm saying. You will get that. You will get the King T'Challa. You will get the one that someone can stand up with. You will get all of that. We will get all of that.
Someday we as a people will get to the promised land. I'm familiar with all of that. All right. What I'm saying is, we're grown men now. We have the ability to say we reject the crumbs that you're giving us. You didn't need to kill this character. You need to answer to us for why you chose to do that. You can accept it. I can accept it. All right. But I want to know why you chose to do it. Why? Why, Ryan? Why, Kevin Feige?
They killed him probably because they didn't want to have to deal with the recasting stuff. I don't know. Who knows what their decision was? The point is, at the end of the day, we are going to get a new T'Challa. Is it going to be the way you guys wanted it, or the way even I wanted it? Because I was right there with you. No. But at the end of the day, some black actor is going to get a chance to play this character. Sooner or later, a black actor is going to be cast to play the King of Wakanda, who is wearing the suit or the mantle of Black Panther, and he's the King of Wakanda. His name's T'Challa. Someone's going to get that. I get it. We didn't get that in this movie. We have a couple of movies, maybe one, maybe two more, maybe in Black Panther 3, maybe in Black Panther 4. But sooner or later, it's going to happen. I get the fact that people wanted him recast in this movie. Can't always get what you want, but at the end of the day, we are still going to get someone playing that Black Panther mantle. Danny, anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I hear what Mark's saying. I agree with a lot of what he's saying, but I also agree with some of the topics you're saying, and I do believe that we're going to get T'Challa a different storyline. Why they made this decision, I can't answer that. But we know that in certain positions that you have to do what your boss tells you to do, or either walk away from the job. So I don't think Ryan Coogler wanted to walk away from the job. I think he wanted to try as best he could within the constraints that he had to write a movie that best showed respect to his friend. So I don't know, but realistically, he probably had a boss. He probably had somebody say, "No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this." So if he did that, he had two options: walk away and then be out of the game totally, or stay in the game and try to write as best he could with the time he had, with the script that he had, with all the pressures of he lost his best friend, his star player, he's grieving, all that kind of stuff. So like I said, I don't want to sound redundant, but grief affects people all different kind of ways. Could this movie have been different? Could they have saved T'Challa? Yes. But I think in his mind, he wanted to please everybody. Sometimes when we all heard this, you can't please everybody. But I really think he had in his mind, this is a compromise. I can't save T'Challa because I've been told I can't. So I will use this storyline out in the book, which is in the comic books, and I will recast T'Challa in the form of his son, and then try and roll with the flow for that, making the stories that I originally had for the Chadwick Boseman T'Challa. Now I'm going to have for this new kid T'Challa. That's what I think what it was. If I got to be totally honest, and if you asking me that question, his boss probably told him, "No, we killing T'Challa now." Is it right? Is it fair? No, but guess what? If you look like us, we've been playing this shit our whole life at the short end of the stick. So Ryan Coogler possibly got the short end of the stick. I'm not arguing that 1,000%. But in order for you to try to affect the game, you got to be in the game. You can't affect the game from outside of the stadium or the football field or whatever analogy you want to use. I think he's trying to stay in the game, trying to do what he can do.
Okay, but don't come onto my TV talking about this is a honor, honoring of Chadwick Boseman, and this is for you people, and you should just love it and all of this stuff. It's like, no, I reject it. I reject it. All right, this is not honest. This is not honest to us. This is not how you honor a man, and this is why I appeal to you as men. We don't let our legacy go that way. We stand up. That's what we do, and we show the people who we are. It's funny because that's what they say in the movie, right? Show them who you are. We're showing them who we are by accepting this bullshit. We don't get taken out of our kingdom. We don't get taken out of our homes. That's something that unfortunately our fathers had to do, do the whole welfare state and all of that. This is a new generation. This is a new day. We know better, and we're going to teach our children better. Our children stay in their homes. All right. Our children stay with their children when they get older. That's the image that we put forth. That's the example that we put forth. That's the ideal that we're trying to give them to believe in, so they can look forward to their future inside of their homes with loving families who believe in them, who will follow them and follow their lead.
What was that, Eli?
Chris has to go. I think
Chris, you got to bounce. Chris, you got to bounce?
No, I was just, I can probably stay for a few more minutes. I just was asking how many more topics.
So what do we do?
Probably just the one, to be honest with you. Go ahead.
Okay, fair enough. That's fine.
Go ahead, Danny.
So what do we do if we trying to, based on what you're saying, Mark, you uplifting and hold each other and black men in a black director makes this movie, do we go and try to support him and still criticize him like you're doing now and like we all been doing from time to time, or we don't support his movie at all? I mean, because Ryan Coogler is one of us. So do we don't support him, or do we go and support the movie and say, "Hey, brother, good movie, but you should do this, this, and this. Maybe next time you should write this, this, and this, and see our point of view." So what do you suggest that we do?
You said he's one of us. How's he one of us?
A black man.
Oh, he's a black person. Okay, so he's a black man.
No,
All right,
I'm
so
going based on the premise of what you just said just now, that you were talking to black men, me and Anzo in particular. So I'm saying, as a black man talking back to you, and this black man made this movie based on what you were saying, do we support this movie based on your thoughts and beliefs because he's a black man, or do we don't support it and send out our criticism or our feelings, whatever? What do you want? What would you have us to do if you were in charge of trying to rectify this? What would be the first step?
I don't support bullshit that is counterproductive to the community that you're trying to sell it to. All right, so I don't owe him anything if he's selling me something that is counter to what I feel is going. In other words, in my home, there are certain things that I am not going to condone for my son to see, that I feel like can warp his development. If I feel like it's something that can be damaging to him and his perception, then I'm going to speak about it. And he knows this. Ultimately, he's getting old enough, he can make up his own mind, of course, but we have to be clear about the rights and wrongs of this and the evils of Hollywood that has never been an ally to the image of the black man. All right. I mean, it's really not an ally to anybody. Hollywood is an evil place in general. And a lot of us can do probably good to be a little bit more. We can scrutinize it a little bit more, what they put in front of us, for sure. But, what I'm talking about specifically, the image of the black man is something that we have to be hyper aware of. All right. Ryan Coogler is just one man. So I don't want to put all of this pressure on him. He can't change the world. But I damn sure do know that he signed on the dotted lines. So he's going to do what he's told, just like what you said. All right. So if they tell him, to make a statement about, recast T'Challa and how people are being unrealistic about that, even if he himself believes that, he's still going to toe the line. I mean, look, there was just an article with Angela Bassett talking about how she couldn't believe the decisions that were made with her character. I believe Lupita Nyong'o said the same thing. Personally, they did have an issue with the way their characters were treated in these movies. I'm probably going to do a video about that as well, because we saw the same thing with John Boyega. We saw the same thing with Thandiwe Newton. It's like, and through all of that, people like me were the bad guys for pointing out that they did not flesh out these characters the way that they should. They did not show them the respect that I felt they deserved. But then later on, after it was all said and done, now you get these interviews talking about, yeah, I felt that way too. They didn't do right by my character. You know what I mean?
Aware of that Angela Bassett, bro. That's pretty.
Nor was I.
Yeah.
Nor was I. So I would definitely have to look into that, because they made Angela Bassett a strong black woman in that movie, hands down. She was on point. The minute she walked into the UN, she was like, yo, you guys can't play with Wakanda. She pretty much told them, don't fuck with us. You know what I mean? So they did her right. I don't know what she said they didn't do wrong. Right?
No, I think killing her.
Maybe killing her.
Well,
right. Maybe killing her would have been the issue.
Something I've always told my mother, and my sister. I've always told them for the longest. I said, you are the strongest women I've ever known in my life. But something I've never heard them say? I never heard either one of them say, I'm a strong black woman. Never heard it. The strongest women I've ever known never made that declaration. They just were being about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were just living their lives, doing what they needed to do. This strong black woman thing is a Hollywood construct. Those three words being put together, that's all that is. Because the strongest black woman is strongest with her man. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. And the strongest black man, the strongest 100%. Man, the strongest man is strongest 100%. With his woman. You know what 100%. I mean? And this is the truth that Hollywood wants to dance around. Everyone is supposed to be gay. Everyone's supposed to be this and that and everything. But the thing that they don't exalt is that very basic union between man and woman. And that's what I'm saying when it comes to T'Challa. I saw somebody say that Nakia didn't want to be queen, but she wanted to have his child. Were they married? Is this child out of wedlock? Were they married?
Well, they don't say they were, so I don't think so.
So we're going to accept that too. We're going to accept that too.
From Princess Diana. She didn't want to be queen. We accepted Princess Diana for the exact same circumstances. She didn't want to be queen, but she had his kid.
But they were married, though.
Princess died.
You said
She
Princess
did not
Diana,
want to be queen. Yeah, Princess
but she
Diana.
was,
She did
but
not
she,
want to be
Did
queen.
she
but she
married
was
him, didn't
married
she?
to.
Yeah, she married him.
Yes.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
ended
they
up
were
marrying him,
married.
but she did
I
not
don't know
want to be
whether
queen.
we don't know
But she
whether or
married
not.
him.
Okay, we don't know for certain because they conceived the child just before the snaps. You don't know whether or not T'Challa plans were to marry them or not. So you don't know that. But to the letter of the law, Mark, he is a bastard.
Mm-hmm. And that was
I
another
know she was,
conscious decision that
But
they
we
made.
don't know whether or not he even had time. We don't even know, based on what they're showing us, we don't even know if T'Challa knew there was a son before the snap or not, that she was even pregnant before the snap or not. We don't know
Right.
that because it was so
Mhm.
vague on how they wrote it.
Mhm.
Okay, so he was just banging her back out, and you know, like I said, once again, just making us common, just making us common. This is a king, not kingly behavior. You know, we deserve an ideal, and that's what I'm talking about. I can relate, I can relate to these things, but I want to see something better, man. You know, it's like when they talk about, Darth Vader. Darth Vader was fearful, he was strong, but he did not reach his full potential because he was damaged, and this is what I'm talking about. The Black community is strong. It's always going to be productive. It's always going to be beautiful. But can't we be allowed to see us reaching our potential? Can't we be allowed to have an ideal to show to the kids just once? You know what I'm saying? Do we always have to just accept the fucking crumbs? That's all I'm saying. They made a decision, a conscious decision to do this. You could have done this with any other character, but we're talking about T'Challa, the Black Panther, the first Marvel Black superhero. This is significant. The creative choices that they made is significant.
I thought
And
the
you
first
know
Marvel
what?
Super Black
I
Hero
don't.
was
I
was
hold on,
was
Eli.
Iron
Give me a
Man's
second.
sidekick.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying, 100%. But I'm gonna say we could still have it. We could have this son T'Challa grow up, marry Storm, have a kid with Storm. They could do all of that. So just because they didn't do it now doesn't mean that they won't do it. I completely understand that maybe the movie was rushed, right? I believe with Danny, same thing with him. I think they should have waited a little bit longer. 100%, I believe that, right? But Marvel, we got to get these movies out. Black Panther 2, and I think they made the best decision that they could. Did they make mistakes doing it? Absolutely, 100%.
Well,
Is it a perfect movie? Absolutely not. It is not. But at
T'Challa
the
was
end of
not
the
the first
day,
Black.
I
Sorry,
we can't.
I was,
Oh, hold on. At the end of the day, we cannot sit here and act like we are not going to see these things. It will happen, right?
You know
Maybe
why?
in the next
And you know what?
movie.
And you know what? It might happen. It might happen. But if it does happen, it's going to be because Black men grabbed them by the balls and said, we won't accept anything different. All right.
And
So my
if
voice,
that's what it
our
takes, then
voices,
let's do it.
our voices, our
Yes.
voices are important. Our voices as Black men
Yes.
are important.
We
And
are
how do
arguing
I
that,
know
Mark.
this? And how do I know this? How do I know this? Because the people who come into my comment section are the ones who want me to shut up the most. You know what I mean? Those are the ones that don't mean us well. Because the only thing I'm talking about, is uplifting people. All right. So why that gets me what it gets me, why it gets other people what it gets them, should be of note to people. Okay. We have to make noise in order for these people to hear. Because when they start talking about the fandom, all they ever talk about are the middle-aged white guys. The middle-aged white guys. Somebody asked me, if this topic is so important, then how come they're not talking about it on Geeks and Gamers? They actually told me that. I said, fuck all that. I'm talking about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about it.
Do we really want Geeks and Gamers talking about it anyways? I don't
No,
think so.
I'm
You know what I mean?
okay. I'm just
No,
saying
no,
this
I know.
was the question
But
that was asked of me. If we're not talking about it, you know what I'm saying? Then
yeah.
it's not going to be important to anybody.
But
It's got to be us.
I
We
agree
got
with
to
you
be the ones to
100%.
do it.
100%. I say that all the time. We have to be the ones to stand up and do all this stuff. I agree with you 100%. But I'm just like, okay, I get it, right? They didn't do it for this movie. I understand that. I think it's a good movie. Right, I enjoyed it, and I was skeptical. I was thinking, and Danny can tell you. You can go back and watch my streams. Danny asked me, "You excited for Black Panther 2?" Nah, I could care less. It's probably going to be trash. I said that, but I walked
Can
out
I
of
make a
there
point about that, by
within
the
it.
way?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I remember you saying that too. I was on one of the streams where you were saying that. I remember. All right, but see, here's the thing, right? This movie was intentionally emotional, right? I mean, I knew it, you know, from the very first teaser trailer. No woman, no cry. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, everything moving in slow motion. You know, then they get Rihanna. What is it? Lift me up, hold me down. Oh God,
that song's fun.
Chapman.
I like that song though. I like that song
You know
though.
what I
I
mean?
can't lie.
It's overly emotional. It's
Yeah.
overly manipulative. And by the time they get through with you, you're accepting whatever they want to give you. Because we do love Chadwick. We do love this character. And we do respect these actors and the director. We want to love this.
100%. And I will tell you, and I said this on, I think it was Rob Storm's channel or whoever I was on, I didn't feel the emotions of this movie. It didn't touch my heart, right? I always go back to Pursuit of Happiness. In that scene, when Will Smith was in the bathroom with his son crying, I bawled my ass off, right? This movie did not make me even want to shed a tear. I didn't feel it like that. So it wasn't the emotions that had me liking the movie. I just thought they did a pretty job.
Let the guy
Danny,
with
go
the
ahead.
worst takes ever on YouTube speak on this. I was emotionally touched by this movie. And I'm going to say to Mark, we have never, I don't think we ever disrespected you on your channel. We didn't agree a lot. I know, I'm going to speak for me. I didn't agree with some of the things you said, but I think we on the same boat. We just believe we should get to the destination differently. I hear what you're saying, and I can't fault a lot of what you're saying. I'm just saying in this particular movie, and I don't have the I guess what I want to say. I don't have. You say you don't trust Hollywood. I really don't care, because whatever movie I go to see, and I want to explain myself. I know there are agendas. I know there's social agendas. I know they're pushing this kind of stuff. But I'm going to see Superman. I'm going to see Batman. I'm going to see such and such. If they got all this crazy stuff in there, I can filter that shit out and get what I want, because I'm going there for escapism. And you bring up some things, and I've told the guys on my stream with, man, when I first got YouTube, I was basic math. Okay, yeah, okay. Now as I progress in YouTube, now I'm going to a movie now, and I'm looking at the damn score, the way they're shooting the shit, and if they've got this, they're checking this box. So it's kind of taking some of the excitement out of going to the movie, because I'm worried about other stuff that before I got exposed to YouTube and different content creators, I wasn't thinking about it. So in a way, it's kind of has cons, it kind of has pros. In this movie, I see exactly what you're saying, but I got choked up when I saw Shuri hugging the coffin because she was upset about her brother. That touched me when they showed the little the silent montage of Chadwick Boseman, and at the end of the movie when they showed her crying and stuff, and they revealed that there was another T'Challa. My theater, they stand up and gave it a pause. So I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but a lot of people are liking it. I hear what you're saying. I have no problem with what you're saying, but I mean, I like the movie. So again, that's coming from the person with the worst take.
and you listen,
so,
and you know,
second worst, because I'm probably right there with you now.
Anytime, anytime we call you that, it's because we love you. All right, number one. Man. All right,
it's funny
you family.
Use it as my crutch, man. From now, man.
Yeah, you family. You know, it's just I've had this thing with me for my entire life, and please believe me when I tell you this is true. You know, when I walk down the block, I always look. I'm always observing. I always see. You know what I mean? And I just see way too much hopelessness in the eyes of our people. You know, I see. I
gotta go inside.
All right.
Yeah, no problem. Do your thing.
All right, bro.
Go ahead, Mark.
You know,
he's just going inside.
Yeah, I got to charge this battery.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I see children who are hopeless. You know, who think they have no future ahead of them. You know, I see people dying. You know, Marvin Gaye sang the song. You know, mother, there's far too many of you crying. Brothers, there's far too many of you dying. There you go.
I love that song. I love that song.
And it's just more of the same. You know what I mean? It's like Shuri, hugging, her brother's coffin. I did that with my brother's coffin. You know what I'm saying? It's like I understand. I get all of that. What I'm looking for, and I say it again, is an ideal. I'm looking for a dream that people can believe a reality. In our generation, you know, these were dreams, but each generation it becomes more and more of a reality. It becomes more and more of a possibility that they can achieve these things. You know, maybe I couldn't have made it work, you know, with my son's mother, but maybe he can have a successful marriage. You know what I mean? Maybe he can produce, you know, a stronger family unit. You know, we're supposed to be trying to gift our children with better. All right. So it might seem like it's just a movie. You can clap and you can love it and everything. But when they give it to you the way that they give it to us and try to say that this is for you, this is a gift for you, this is honoring Chadwick, well, then you're inviting the criticism, you're inviting the scrutiny, you know, and if you're falling short, then people have the right to say that, you know what I mean? They have the right to point out that you might have overlooked something here by allowing this character to just die this way in the very beginning. You know, if you're bringing your child after seeing the first one and you start this movie off this way, it's not cool. It's just not. It's like we might be able to process it. We might be able to enjoy it, the story for what it is. But think about what you're showing these kids. Think about what you're giving them. You know, you just started your movie off with some hopelessness. The character died. You love the character. You know what I mean? And it died off camera of a sickness that didn't even get well explained. He didn't get to die in battle. He didn't get the respect of a warrior. You know, think about everything that we're giving to these kids. You know, as like I said before,
Well, Mark,
as leaders, as black
is it
men.
is it death and cancer and that kind? Isn't that part of life?
Yeah, I was gonna say that myself.
And I personally, I don't know if I would have wanted to see him die in battle like that. You know what I mean? I get the, you know, honorable death and stuff like that, but it would hit really too hard to home. You know what I mean? You got a CGI or someone playing him in the suit, whatever, and they're watching him die on screen. We got to understand these people, especially Ryan Coogler, was friends, real good friends with Chadwick Boseman. So there's obviously that, you know, making this movie was probably hard for him. You know what I mean? So to sit there and, you know, direct a scene where you're killing T'Challa was probably hard for him to do.
Is he a professional or is he not? I mean, first of all, I'm gonna be the guy with the terrible take. All right, I have to wonder if he was really good friends with this man. I really have to wonder that because I don't see how that honors that man. That man went around to cancer units all over the place, you know, like supporting children. You know, he knew what he was dealing with. And
Can I ask you a question, Mark, real fast?
go on.
Do you or did you know Chadwick Boseman personally, not publicly, what he's been doing, what he did? Maybe that's why he did what he did because he knew him personally, not just publicly like you've been announcing. He did this, he did this, he did this. You never mentioned anything what he did personally. You only mentioned what he did publicly.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Well, I'm saying that you're always saying that Chadwick has done this for the cancer for the kids. Always doing this. You're always repeating what he's been doing, what he's been reported doing in the media. You're always repeating that. Maybe Coolidge did what he did because he actually knew Chadwick personally on a personal level, not just citing what he was, what the media reported.
Again, I do have to go, and I'm going to leave it on this. The easy answer to this, or not the easy necessarily, but the smart answer that they could have taken is, listen, we have to take time to figure out exactly how we're going to approach this movie. We're not going to rush it. Chadwick was an integral part of this character, and to just rush this out and keep it as close to on time as possible doesn't make sense. We have to inspect and analyze every aspect of this movie, our choices, what those choices mean, and when we are ready, we're going to bring you a proper movie. That's what should have happened. It's not what did happen. But perhaps that's what we're trying to say, is that this should have been well thought out before this came out. There are going to be plenty of people who will make their own assumptions and say that perhaps he is a deadbeat father. There might be those people like me who, when I hear the basics of the storyline, say, no, I don't see it like that. But I do think, Mark, what you're saying is that they left it too open-ended for that comment to come into play, the deadbeat father comment to come into play. Is that kind of what you're saying? Hollywood left it open-ended, didn't give it an absolute, like, no, he's there with his son. He's going to be with his son. His son's going to be by his side and all that stuff. Is that kind of what you're saying?
I believe that they disrespected the honor and integrity that's at the core of a black man that would want his legacy to continue. You know, Chadwick Boseman was sick for a long time and he continued to do his job, you know, and I believe it was said that he didn't want it to be a distraction to the work. All right. So how anyone who loves him could take that, knowing that he didn't want to be the story, he wanted the work to be the work, you know, that he wanted to represent his professionalism. He showed up to work every day. He read his lines. He did the best he could. And with that, you take him and put him on his back, his character dying because he didn't tell anybody that he was dying, you know, so you kill him this way. And somehow you convince yourself that this is honoring that man who showed up every single day, not wanting his sickness to be the story. You made his sickness the story. I have to question your so-called love for that man.
Did he write it, or he's just director? Because I didn't know he wrote that part about the sickness in the movie.
So hold on.
I know he wrote that.
Hold on. First off,
just directed
the way he died in the movie is the way he died in real life, right? He didn't tell anybody he was sick. He didn't tell anybody at Disney that he was sick. So they didn't know until he was pretty much dying, right? So what they did was they took the real life element and put it in the movie. I don't have an issue with that. 100%, right? And we got the emotional Sherry, we got all that emotional stuff and everything. And these people have worked on Black Panther with him for so long, right? Ryan Coogler may have been like good friends with him. And people, you said being about professional, 100% he's a professional, but people grieve differently, right? You cannot tell someone how to grieve. Maybe it hit him so hard that he only thought about this way to honor him, right? I know me personally, when my parents died, it took me a good 5 years to get over that. It's to the point now where sometimes the date pops up and I'm like, oh shit, it's the 8th, my parents' death, right? But in the beginning, I knew week before, like, you know, I'm not really paying attention to what the date is, but a week before it gets close to that date, I get emotional and I get in my feelings for some reason. And just like maybe 2 years ago, I was like, man, why am I in my emotions today? Why do I feel like this? And then I happened to look at the date and I was like, oh, my anniversary of my father's death is coming up. That's why, right? So people grieve differently. Yes, he may be a professional, but that doesn't take away from the pain that he was feeling and the hurt that he was feeling. He probably still feeling that pain and hurt today if they were as close as people say they are, right? Because that's another thing we will never know. We will never know how close they were. We will never know if they actually had a conversation about moving forward with the Black Panther movie. We don't know that.
Can I actually, there is a way. I'll put a link in the private chat.
Hold on 1 second. Chris gotta go.
I've got to run.
Mm-hmm.
I
Shout
gotta
out to
run.
channel,
So
Chris.
guys, Real Review 3000, check it out tomorrow. We'll be here, Rule of 3 and the Rumble and stuff this week on my channel, and Name That Tune, all that other stuff. But thank you very much. Sorry I gotta run, but I do. Talk to you guys later.
No problem. Here's the thing. Orlando said, I understand people grieve differently. So if that's the case, step away and come back. How'd that work for Zack Snyder? He was grieving, he stepped away, and they took his movie away from him. How'd that work for him? Right? So now you want to say you don't trust Hollywood. If they could do that to Zack Snyder, imagine what they would do to a black man.
I'm not too familiar with the whole dynamic between Zack Snyder. Didn't he have some type of, he was in battle with his studio, right? Like
no, his daughter died.
Yeah, that I know.
Yes,
yeah.
And he stepped away.
was
Yeah,
I
go
think she
ahead,
committed suicide, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah,
set
she
away to
did.
handle that, and before he could come back, they done give it to somebody else. So I think
They
also
fired
if
But
they
those are,
did that
someone else.
to
but
a
it's two
white
different
man,
people and two different dynamics. I
no,
don't
I
know
think he
if
was just saying if Hollywood did that to a white man, what the hell you think they would have done to Ryan Coogler if he's stepped
What
away?
makes you think? And they wouldn't do that to him, right? And we got to understand, like you said, you don't trust Hollywood. So if Ryan Coogler's like, man, Zack Snyder stepped away. He did Man of Steel, right? And Man of Steel, regardless of what you want to say about it, made money, 800, almost $900 million. And then when the second one came out, they like said sayonara. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
when you're
if you're,
seeing
I
that
mean,
situation,
I think he's making
being
that one
black,
key point. He's making that
Hey
one key
guys,
point, not making that whole
right?
impression.
My
on everybody.
only point is
guys,
that if they could do that to if they could do that to Zack Snyder, they could do that to Ryan Coogler. Whether it's a different company or whatever, it's still, as we say, the
Hollywood.
white men that are in charge, Hollywood that in charge. So if you're like, listen, we need to get this movie out, and you need to step away, well, you know, we're gonna get someone else in here to do it. It's a possibility.
then he had the right to do the laziest thing possible, which is
No,
make the death of his character the same as the death of his beloved friend.
can I say something at least, guys?
That's like no
I-
I've been trying
go
creativity
to
at
ahead,
say
go
all.
something for
ahead,
the past
Eli.
7
Go
minutes.
ahead.
I've been trying to say something for the past 7 minutes.
Yeah,
I've been trying
yeah,
to
go ahead.
tell you guys about an article here. Boston Reporter received, Chadwick received the script 2 weeks before he died, according to Coolidge. He was too tired to read
Mhm.
the script. The script was already written. His character's already set to die in the movie. So why are you guys complaining?
Who was set to die in the movie?
T'Challa. He had the script 2 weeks. Boseman gave T'Challa,
Uh,
gave Chadwick Boseman the
he
script 2
did.
weeks before the movie was
He
before the movie
yes,
was
he did.
before he died.
He did.
Yes,
But I don't.
the script was
Yes, he did.
already
But
written.
I don't. No, he did. But I don't think he was meant to die. I don't think he was
The
meant to
script,
die in
there's
the script.
nowhere I found nowhere any rewrites that he decided to do a rewrite for Chadwick Boseman. No, the script was sent. It was written. Here, Chadwick, I can't read. I'm too tired. He was
No. The
dying.
script was rewritten. The script was rewritten. Hands
Where
down.
was the script rewritten? Because I cannot find any part that clearly said
He said it
we
in
wrote the script for
interviews,
that.
Eli, who he said in
Yeah.
interviews that they were working on it. When he died, he didn't have his number one player there. He used a football terminology, saying it was hard because they hadn't finished it, and he was trying, and he relied on Chadwick Boseman to do certain things, to be a sounding board, and he didn't have it anymore. He, according to him, now I ain't there, but I'm going by his interview that he said that he had a hard time getting through that. So that's what I'm saying on that point. The other stuff,
And
what Mark is saying about the lazy writing and stuff, I don't know. And like Anzo said, and I said earlier, and I don't want to sound too redundant, people grieve different kind of ways. Some people bounce back real quick. Some people take weeks, months, years, whatever the case may be. I don't know. I don't know how Ryan Coogler grieved. Then he had, on top of that, he went to the bank and was almost arrested for some bullshit. So, I mean, he's going through some shit during that time. So, I mean, I don't know. And then we all know that we got bosses, and sometimes our bosses want things done by the numbers, and we done spent X amount of dollars, and we got to have this product out right here and there. All those kind of pressures on in life. So I don't know. Could this movie have been better? It possibly could. But we got what we got, and I like what we got. I'm not in love with it, but I like it a lot.
It doesn't even matter what you like, what I like, as far as I'm concerned. Like I said before, I'm talking about the cultural significance. That was the story when the first one was out. They made sure that they showed kids around the world celebrating and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
what it meant.
But that was a professional move too. I mean, a purposeful move because they released it on Black History Month, and then it was a phenomenon. I don't even think that they really. What?
Didn't he grow up in Oakland?
who?
Chad Boseman didn't grow up in Oakland. He grew
No,
up
not
in South Carolina.
Boseman. Not Boseman.
Who? T'Challa?
No, what's his
Coogler?
name? Coogler, yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh, it's possible. I think I heard him say
it's
that.
possible.
It's okay, Daddy.
I think that's why he filmed it. Because I think that's why he filmed in the East Bay.
Yes, he did. He did absolutely 100%. Because that last scene, was in Oakland in Black Panther, the first
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
and I believe that's because
Opening and the last scene was it.
because he
Yeah.
was born from there. Yeah, that is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. Listen,
You know,
at the
there's
end of the
also
day,
a
yeah. Oh,
there's
go ahead, Mark.
also a article that I'm going to try to spotlight too if I have time on CNN, where it was talking about ultimately the movie does make the case to recast T'Challa, or you know, they said it was an enjoyable movie, but ultimately it did make the case that they should have recast. You know, and this was a CNN article, and what it boiled down to was they weren't giving their audience the respect of believing that they could actually process what was going on. So it was kind of like playing down to your audience, acting like your audience couldn't accept a recast, acting like your audience would never accept another actor and all of this stuff. You know what I mean? When it's already been done before. But for some reason, with a black audience, we believe that we're just so like we just can't like erase that line between fiction and reality. We would just be so devastated. You know what I mean? Like it's almost an insult that we're like in a childlike mentality where we can't do this, we can't process this, and we can never accept what they would have had to have done. You know, like this is the only thing that Coogler could have done, the only story he could have come up with, which is bullshit. You know what I mean?
And 100%, I'll agree with that. And Fatal J said, playing devil advocate, what if they recast T'Challa and the actor was trash? I said that earlier. I'm like, right? People would have been comparing this this actor who played T'Challa to that one. You know what I mean? Maybe he's garbage, maybe he's good. You know, and I think they really wanted to avoid that.
Wait a minute. Wait, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Why would you let that fear stop you from giving it your best shot? You know what I mean? Like you really don't believe that there could possibly, God forbid, be an actor better suited for this role than even Chadwick Boseman, who could have taken it to the next level.
No, I don't think.
You know what I mean?
I don't think
we don't believe in our men.
No, we're
there
not
probably
saying
is.
that. We're just saying that was a comparison they made at a particular point in time. Didn't want to go through. We're not saying. I believe there's that. I just said on the other stream. I think the guy that's playing Kang could do it. I think he can't do it now because he can't be King and T'Challa in the same universe. That guy's a beast. I think he could have definitely slid in there and do it. But they didn't they didn't choose to go that route.
If you love Chadwick as much as you say, I'm not you guys. I'm saying if they love Chadwick as much as they say they did, they want to honor him as much as they say that they wanted to honor him. There's no way they wouldn't have been committed as writers, as casting directors, as actors to take this thing to the next level in a recast. You know what I mean? They would have made it their business. You know, they act like they're so determined to give this their best shot. Chadwick would be so proud. It's pathetic to lay him down and not pick up his flag. It's pathetic. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was bringing to life. And you are going to try to sell to black men, especially, but you know, everyone in general, but black men especially, you want to try to sell to us that this is what a man would have wanted, for you to leave his legacy this way, what he fought in his dying days to give to the children, to give to the people.
But his legacy,
we're supposed to accept that. We're supposed to accept that as men.
Then his legacy will carry on. All right, Eli, have a good one. Yeah, we're gonna close it up soon, anyways. But his legacy will carry on. We have a new T'Challa. We have a new one. His legacy will carry on. We're not gonna see the end of T'Challa. It may not be the T'Challa that you guys want, but we're gonna see that legacy. It's gonna come.
No, and it's going. If it comes, it's going to come because I'm keeping my foot in their ass. That's the reason why. You know, and I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm saying they need to hear from us. You know what I mean? Us especially.
I
agree. Know, this is what we want. If you want to try to do these things in our name, it would be one thing if you just said, you know, we don't give a fuck. You know, this is just what we're doing. You know what I mean? But if you're going to invoke the name of black men, then you need to be hearing black men. You need to be seeing us, and we need to give this our nod of approval. If not, then it's just more exploitation. And we've had enough of this. We've had enough of this. It's like, look at the state of the world right now. We can't have a T'Challa, but we can have a Lil Nas X. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That guy, yeah, I know what you're saying, and I've talked about that many times. I say that all the time. The industry,
right now,
they don't care about us, hands down. I talk about on my show all the time,
I know
right?
you
I
do.
talk about the N-word all the time, like we
know
need
you
to
do.
stop saying that and all that shit. So I agree with you 100%. I'm just
Listen,
like,
y'all.
give the people them the time to mourn and do it. So let me ask you this: what happens if Black Panther 3 comes out? We have a new T'Challa, and he represents everything you are saying he does now, right? Like everything you say you want him to represent. What if the next movie has that T'Challa?
Hollywood has never been invested in giving us that. You're more likely to see, and I said this in my video, you're more likely to see your T'Challa being bi or gay. This next one that comes up.
Well, hopefully they don't, right?
Yeah.
And if they do that,
If he's
I will
buying
be.
gay, I'll be all
Listen,
I'll be all on your ship, buddy.
I will do a video with you. You know what I mean? I'll be like, Mark, let's do a video right now to trash this bullshit if they do that. 100%.
Yes,
because that is what they do to us all the time. I agree with that 100%. But let's just say they don't, right? And let's just say we do get that T'Challa. Then what? Or
Is that what Fatal?
Okay with that?
Is that what my brother Fatal is asking? Would I be satisfied? I'd be satisfied with a good blowjo right about now, bro.
Damn.
But anyway,
I'm right there with you, brother.
Okay. But listen, we have seen nothing, especially from Marvel. What is it, Phase 4 or something like that? We've seen nothing to convince us that they would deliver something like that. Okay. And that's another thing, guys.
You saw the first Black Panther.
He's dead. Okay, so what I'm talking about now is what we've seen with what is it, Ironheart, what we've seen with Miss Marvel, what we've seen with She-Hulk. You know what I mean? It's like
we all with you on that.
This is just what they're doing. This is even Namor. You know what I mean? There was a little Namette somewhere in there, wasn't there?
His sister Namor.
Yeah.
You mean a baby?
Yeah, I know it's comic book accurate, but I'm just saying this is what Marvel is doing right now. Unfortunately, even Kevin Feige said at the beginning they wanted to make it more female centric, right? He said that. So this is what I'm saying. I just like you're putting a lot of trust in them, and I understand that, but they're not us, and that's what I'm saying.
No. Hold on. Let's be real. I ain't putting trust in them. I'm just saying if they do, right? If they do, because I also think that the reason why we got the little T'Challa in there is because they probably heard the rumblings, right? They probably heard the recast T'Challa in there.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
What I'm talking about.
So that's what I'm saying. So let's say they hear us now and they say they give us the T'Challa that you're asking for. Will you be okay with it?
They better. They better. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
If
you're gonna do it right.
Do it
right, and you won't hear me say a word.
Fatal said I'm about to get one of those later tonight. Me, Fatal, me too. As soon as we get off the stream, right?
Married life, baby.
Boy, wow.
Hey man, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
But listen, guys, I want to say too, I really, really do appreciate you guys giving me this opportunity because, like I said, I have been getting dogged a lot in my comment section from people who are coming in. As far as I'm concerned, they're operatives, because I'm not saying anything that is that offensive. You know what I mean? So when you start saying things like unity in the people and unity in the family and dignity and respect and self-accountability, and you start having people come into your comment section calling you all types of names, you got to start wondering what that's about. You got to start wondering if what I'm saying is that crazy. When you start having people come in full of the venom that they've been coming in, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not talking against anybody. All I'm saying is we could be great. We could actually own something. Fatal J's here. Ninja Blast 2 is coming up. It's like, where's the love for the Fatal J's? All of these people who are, and that's the key, by the way, ownership. When you own something and you create it, then you can also shape that image. That's where the real power is at. But do you see people supporting that? Look at what Ripper is going through as well. You got people coming in and, going after him. And, it doesn't matter how you feel about him personally or whatever. Look at what the man is trying to create. And look at what's happening. That's what I'm talking about. Control, power. Of course, that puts me out there once again to be criticized and all that stuff. Shut up. You just shut up. Just shut up. No, I'm not going to shut up. I'm never going to shut up. Like I said before, it makes me stronger because it makes me realize that I'm on the right track. And I love being here with you, brothers, because even though you might not agree with me with everything, we stand in unison. And that's what they're afraid of even more. You know what I mean? This is where it is. This is where the potential is at. This is where the promise is at. This is what I want to give to our young boys and our young girls. You can believe in us.
And that's why I have you on the stream, because we ain't, and me and Danny talk about all the time, like we ain't no echo chamber over here. You know what I mean? We want people to have different opinions. We want to.
I always get beat up on.
Right?
I feel like Namor and Shuri.
Right? We don't want no echo chamber. Like, and we have nothing but respect for what you guys do over there, hands down. You know what I mean? Like Fatal J said, we can debate on a absolutely 100%. And I said it earlier. I seen the post you put up, the comments, and I'm like, people are fucking stupid. They're stupid. You know what I mean? You're gonna go disrespect someone because of their fucking opinion. You're the one that has the issue, not the person that you're dissing. You have the issue. You know what I mean?
I don't worry about some of those comments, Mark. No, I will say this, and I told Alonzo, this movie, I don't know why I got in my feelings. And people were saying stuff, and I won't call names, but certain groups were saying stuff and making jokes. That shit had me kind of hot. And I told Alonzo, I said, man, I ain't gonna talk about this. Because if I say something, what I want to say in my profession, and it gets back to my job, I probably won't have a job. So I have to really temper what I want to say, because this movie really got me in my feelings. Because when I saw stuff, even with the first Black Panther, I got the conversation with blacks, but Sunday when I went there, I saw it firsthand. There was nobody in there that looked unlike us, like I said. So if you know my situation, my interracial marriage, my grandson, it was a beautiful thing, man. And the points that you made out tonight are valid points I didn't really think about. But in other side of the coin, I still like this movie. And I support it. I like I said, I don't watch it 3 times. I may go again next week with my daughter. She hasn't seen it yet. But what you said are valid points. I can't sit here and say they aren't. But I'm like Anzo. What if this new version of T'Challa does everything that you talk about tonight? I hope it does. I would love to see him marry Storm, like I've seen in the comic book. They have a child, and I would love to see that stuff. If they don't, then like Anzo said, shit, you invest your channel, we'll be on there right behind you. The pom-poms and
Black power.
And picks in the hair. I can't put a pick in my hair. But
neither can I.
I hope it does too. I really, really do. You know, and I should say too, Lupita Nyong'o is fine. I want that woman. I want her bad. But let me just say, man, and with that, I just want to say I started off by saying I respect everyone who is, you know, the talent that's in this movie. You know, I don't know them personally to give them that respect, because like I said, unfortunately, they have forced me to wonder how dedicated they were to Chadwick's memory. But that's just me. You know what I mean? I could easily be wrong about that. You know, like you were saying, different people grieve different ways. You know, so if that's the best they could come up with, then knowing him personally, because I didn't know him personally, the only reason why I feel the way I feel, like I said, I'm trying to find that common ground as a man, as a black man, you know, and I really don't feel like anybody here would want their legacy to lay down with them. You know what I mean? Like our lives are supposed to mean something. And sometimes a lot of us never do get to know the impact that we make in this life. Chadwick did. You know, he got to see these things. I have to believe that he was proud of what he did. It wasn't just T'Challa. It was Thurgood Marshall. It was Jackie Robinson. It was James Brown. You know, that man had a very impressive body of work, you know, and I know he was proud of it. So you know, when the question of honoring him comes up, I don't even see how they handled it being appropriate, but that's just me. It's just me. But I think more and more people are beginning to talk about that. I think more and more people are beginning to see this, you know. So
Let me
it
ask
is
you
a
question.
conversation worth having.
So if they did this recasting of T'Challa, you would want nothing like the montage with Chadwick Boseman or at the end saying in memory. You won't see any of that. You just want to be the new T'Challa and keep it moving. That's what you would have preferred to see.
No, they did a tribute to him on ABC.
No,
last
I'm saying
year.
in this movie. What I'm saying in this particular movie, would you have rather see just a new T'Challa? Just keep going. Don't say anything. Maybe at the end say in memory of Chadwick Boseman, blah 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 blah, and you'd have been cool.
I think they should have made a kick-ass movie, that got you out of your seat, that was crazy, that he could hear up in the high heavens, and then dedicate it to him. You know what I mean? Honor that man, come strong for that man. Everything that he stood for. Our king has fallen. Now, lift everything that he stood for up and make these people know that we're still here. If you say Wakanda forever, make them feel it across the street, man. You know what I'm saying? Everyone should be cheering for that. We are not in a state of decline. We're not in a state of defeat. I understand people have to mourn and everything, but once you get through mourning, you rise, man. I know, like I said before, when my brother passed and everything, he was my best friend. I miss him every single day, but I damn sure make sure that I uplift him every single day of my life. And my son knows this. We talk about him all the time, So that's how I feel about it. But then once again, that's just me. Some people might just have to have that lift me up, okay, all right, but for me, when my time comes, it's like I want something kick-ass playing for me.
Mark, I swear, man, when she was crying and they played that song,
it's made for that.
If you ain't had no tears, man, I'm like, and I consider myself a pretty hard man. I mean, I do, man. I don't hardly cry, man. I'm kind of old school, tough, man, tough love. But man, I like
get
this.
It, bro.
When I heard this, man, I was like this right here. Try not to let my grandson see.
Oh man, but you know what? I totally understand, bro. I totally understand. I remember when what was it? Spike Lee did Malcolm X. Nobody warned me for that scene when I think he was taking his last walk, and you heard Sam Cooke. I was born by the river. It's like by the time that song was over, bro, I didn't have a tissue. I was a mess. You know what I mean? So I get it. I'm not faulting anybody for that. I'm just saying, for once again, Marvel's first Black superhero, I just wanted something more triumphant, but they did what they did, but I'm just saying that was my only point with all of this. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this, because Lord, please let him answer correct. Did you see Black Adam?
Yeah.
Is Black Adam better than Black Panther?
Ooh, see, that's difficult because I did enjoy Black Adam. I did. All right. But this is so subjective, man. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, yesterday, believe it or not, I almost made a post on Twitter saying, I hate this movie more than I hated The Last Jedi. That was yesterday. All right. Because certain things came to light for me that I really, really don't appreciate. All right. But because of the fact that some people that I really, truly respect got a lot out of this movie, I can't say that. My problem with this movie is my own, to be fair. All right. Other people saw other things. Other people enjoyed different aspects of it. Fatal J loved it, and I love Fatal J. I respect him. You guys appreciated it. I love and respect you, because you are men of conscience. You're not just going to go in and just be like, oh, I just love this movie. No, you have reasons. You know what I mean? So I have to respect that. I have to. I wish they had gone about it differently. That's my personal thing. And I've always said that from the very beginning. I've always said this is not a matter of whether or not the movie is good. It was just the creative decisions that I had a problem with. You know what I mean?
And that is 100% understandable. You see, and that's why I have no issues, because you have valid critiques, right? It's just some of the critiques that I hear people saying, like, drive me up a wall.
Fucking racist. I'll say it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Bro, like,
well, we saw that in the first one too. We did. A lot of people were objecting to it for no good reason. You know what I mean? I did a video about that back then.
The CGI was bad, so the movie was overrated. You know what I mean? Because the CGI at the end was bad. Those kind of comments, you know. I heard people talking about it, be like, "Oh, I can't believe they killed Namor." I was like, "What? Did you even watch the movie? Obviously not, because they did not fucking kill Namor."
Namor was emasculated by Shuri. Did you not watch the fight? He whipped her ass to the very end. Even when she weakened him, he still whipped her ass. She got over him by luck. It wasn't planning and luck.
See, that's something I can't speak to too much, because I've heard a lot of people in the Latino community who are mad at this, you know, and I don't pretend to understand it. That's another thing. I gotta respect that, you know what I mean? Because I'm not sure like what angle it's coming from. You know, when I hear Paulie talk about it and Mexican Iron Man, you guys had to have heard him. Mexican Iron Man went the hell off. All right. So, you know, like I said, this movie is going to be different things to different people, you know, so you just have to respect that. You know, I have my issues with it. I feel like they could have come up with something different, you know, but I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to like give this a chance. Enzo, what you're saying, like what could happen in the future. I just think it would be uncharacteristic of this particular studio to do justice by that character, but we'll see.
Yeah. And I can agree with that too, because I'm a Hulk fan. They didn't do that motherfucker justice, and that's just the Hulk.
Oh my god!
You know what I mean?
All I can say is, if they do Black Panther and he's gay or something, I'm like, God damn, Mark was right. Shit.
You know what?
And I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right.
If they do that, I think I'll never watch a Marvel movie again. If they do that, I will ban it. I'll be like, fuck that. If that's what you did with one of our characters, I'll pass, bro. I'll pass. It'll be hard, you know. There'll be some I may creep and watch.
But that's what you got to do, because like all of us are Star Wars fan. Mark rocking the shirt. We only watch 2 episodes of Andor. I can't watch it. I'm not going to watch.
I can't watch it either.
But I'm not going to be here on the same time and bash it and be like, oh, Star Wars. Disney Star Wars is it good as George Lucas Star Wars? Hell no. But it got some things that I like. Tales of the Jedi. I like Boba Fett. I know. There I go again. I like Obi-Wan. But
Boba Fett.
Yeah, I don't care.
I mean, listen, guys, I should say too, that whole bashing the shows thing, all that happened because they started bashing the critics of their shows. Like all you had to say is, I didn't like Kenobi. And you would have a million hit pieces calling your fans racist, you know, calling them this, calling them that. And unfortunately, that sets the climate, that sets the stage for the back and forth. But fans are always going to be fans. Look at sports fans. Sports fans, you guys are sports fans. It's like sports fans are the most vocal of them all. They'll tell you how they feel in real time, you know, and no one is going to stop the game to say, y'all are some racists, you know what I mean, and everything. They're not going to address you in the stands. You know, but that's what these people are doing, you know. So
I will say I'm the only Andor fan here, so I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Hey, that's you know what? No.
Yeah. Abu, I'm glad you're on that island by yourself, because that's how I felt when I come on y'all show. I'd be on the island by myself. Crickets chirping.
No, I got something for Abu. Clip that and send it to OG Star Wars. You think you're safe because she ain't here, huh, bro? Talking about I'm an Andor fan and I'm proud. Okay, we'll see how you feel about that later. Big shout out to Abu Nas. Much love, my
absolutely. Big shout out to all of them, man. All you guys were here. Drunk 3PO popped in. I think that's the first time I've ever seen Drunk on one of my streams, so much appreciated. Fado was up in here.
Been here
you guys,
the whole thing.
You guys came in here.
Always love Abu Nas because he has did one of the funniest clips I have ever seen in my life, and whenever I see it, I can't stop laughing. If he was just send that in to America's Funny Video, he would win.
Is it the Padme? Not the Padme, the Rey one?
Jigga.
Yeah. From the yeah. Yeah. Every time I see that, it cracks me up, bro. 100%.
That's my favorite clip. That's my favorite clip ever.
Yeah, it's fucking.
You almost fell out of your chair. You're damn right. That's your favorite clip. I saw you.
That shit's funny.
But like I said, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? It's good that we can all have conversations. You know, we can disagree. We can agree to disagree. I'm not going to leave the stream here saying, fucking Mark was this and Mark was that. Mark's not going to leave here saying, fuck Danny and Anzo for liking that movie. You're not going to do that, right? Because everybody likes what they like. Not everybody's going to like the same thing. But the most productive part about it is that we can come on here and we can debate and we can talk about it. Shit, sometimes we can even get heated. But at the end of the day, when this camera goes off, we're going to say, yo, man, that was a fire stream. Appreciate you coming on. You know what I mean? That's how it's going to be. And that's how it's supposed to be.
On some stuff, me and you been hot. After the camera go off, that motherfucker, I ain't going to let you know.
Yeah. It depends on what it is. Yes, I agree.
It depends on who it is.
And who it is, absolutely.
What the fuck was he talking about?
Absolutely. Had to kick a motherfucker off my stream because he was talking
Yeah,
too much
that.
bullshit. You know what I
I
mean?
remember that night.
You know what I mean? Came in here talking about ebony echo chamber.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck are you?
Chocolate echo
Whoa.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you got to handle that.
But yeah, it was fun, man. One question before we go. Does it make $1 billion?
No.
I'm not seeing that. No.
I thought it would. Because I thought it would have been like 250 opening weekend. But it didn't. If it had been 250 and then that damn buzz saw that his Avatar is coming up here in about 3 weeks. So I think Avatar is going to take a lot of wind out the sail.
Hey, absolutely. You see, the thing with me and Donnie is we won't bust you after the stream. Like, we'll be there to do, because if we can't say it to your face, then we ain't gonna say it. You know what I mean? So we can't bust your ass to your face. And I told Mark when he came on in the back, I'm like, you ready for the smoke? You know what I mean? Mark was like, bring it. You know?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Also text me, he said, Danny, take a deep breath. Mark come on the show tonight. And I was like, huh? Really?
I said, yeah, he's coming on. We're gonna debate it and we're gonna have some fun. And that's exactly what the stream was. It was fun, man. You know, I appreciate you coming on. Really do. You know, it's always a pleasure hanging out with you guys. It's always a pleasure. So, and I'm still trying to get that stream going. Waiting for you, Abuna. I'm still trying to get that stream going, but one day, hopefully, I will have all three of you guys up on here, man, and it'll be great. One last thing. One last thing. Because I mentioned too, we brushed up on it, but you guys, and Mark said no, but I'm going to ask Danny. Danny, is the Recast T'Challa movement the same as the Synderverase or worse?
I don't know. they damn sure neck and neck, boy. I mean,
wait, easy. Remember, Abu Nas is in the chat. Abu Nas is in the chat. You might want to just be a little bit ginger there. That's why I asked the question.
I don't know, man. That's Zack Snyder, boy. I can say, man, them Zack Snyder writers, they ride or die, boy. I mean, I don't know. It depends on it, boy. But I'm not mad at it. I want Zack Snyder to come back now because 300.
Yeah, I've said that too. I want him to come back too. If he comes back too, I have no issues with it 100%. You know what I mean? None whatsoever. Bring him back. I think to this day, Justice League, the Snyder Cut is the best DCEU movie so far. I still believe that. You know what I mean? No, so I don't mind him. I don't him.
I don't even mind the 4 hours. I heard.
Me neither.
Say the 4 hour. Man, I don't watch Zack Snyder 3 times enough. 3, maybe 4.
Me too. I see the 4 times.
4 hours. 4 hours don't matter. It don't matter.
Straight through. Yeah.
If that was a good story.
It was really good. It was.
And then me and Anzo said, and we took a lot of heat that Zack Snyder was better than Endgame. How can you compare that shit? Yes, because in Endgame, I will watch the first 30 minutes. I will fast forward the next hour and a half to that last hour, and I'll watch that. On Zack Snyder, I don't fast forward nothing. I watch all 6.
You know something? To me, that's a no-brainer. It was better than Endgame. I'm sorry, guys, but whether or not it was better than Infinity War is another question.
It was not.
Yeah. I don't say that either.
We've done rank MCU movies. Infinity War always comes up number 1.
Yeah. And that's not saying nothing. I just really like Infinity War for what it is, right?
Gonna get on Mark bad side now and Dark Council bad side. This movie, Wakanda 2, is in my top 10. How about them apples? Go ahead.
What?
Say what you
What?
want to say. I do not care. It is in my top 10.
I put it in my top 10 too, Danny. I'll put it in my top 10 too. You
Hey,
know what
Black
I mean?
Panther always cracked my top 5.
You know
Always.
why? And I think why is because I was expecting to hate it, right? And I didn't hate it. That's the thing, right? I went in there with this like I was not excited for this movie when it was coming up. Like, all right, Wakanda forever. Let's go see the bullshit that they're gonna put in this movie. You know what I mean? But I enjoyed it for the story for what it was.
Yeah. When you gotta sneak
Yeah.
and whack tears from your eyes to keep your grandson, you know that's a good movie. Because I would just.
You know what? I'm gonna get back to it, and I'll shoot both of you a DM and let you know. Like, I ain't gonna tell anybody if I end up loving this shit, but I'll tell you guys.
Absolutely,
You know what I mean?
100%. You gotta keep
Mark,
that persona.
You will
I get
not
it.
love this movie, but I guarantee you like this movie because you know why you're gonna like it because you got a heart, and there's some things that pull at your heartstrings so much.
Mm-hmm.
You be like, "Fuck," especially when you
Right.
see the scene where somebody dies. You gonna be like,
Oh, wait, hold on.
These
Danny is
motherfuckers did this
entitled to his wrong opinion. No, because I say movies are subjective, and you said it was lousy. We said it's good. I think maybe we could say that your kind of
where's you gonna
opinion
rank
is
it at?
wrong.
Last? You gonna rank it last above Eternals? This movie is better than Eternals. This movie is better than Black Widow. This movie is better than Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It is better than Thor 2.
Ragnarok.
It is better than Ant and Wasp. It is better than all them movies. I don't care
I
what
agree.
nobody says.
It better be better than the Eternals. Eternals was
You know what I mean?
toilet.
I said that in jest, y'all. Yeah, no, we know. We just messing with you, Lorena. Don't worry. You know what I mean? It's all in good fun. We're just playing with you.
Tell me what movies right quick where you think is worse than this movie, Lorena. Just the ones I named. I know it's better than Eternals. I know it's better than Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I know it's better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's better than Thor 2. It's better than that doggone Thor Love and Thunder.
Facts.
That movie sucks.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, that was garbage. Yeah, we love you too, man. Don't worry. And I love all you guys, right? That's why I'm always like, yo, let's do something together. Let's have a stream. Let's do this. You know what I mean? Like, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has it. And if you're going to be fucking mad at somebody's goddamn opinion, then fuck you. Simple and plain. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
I'm mad at a white boy's opinion on that shit, right?
I agree with you on there, Danny. It's better than Thor Love and Thunder. At least we can say that. At least we can say it's better than Thor Love and Thunder. Not better than Black Widow, though. Nah. Black Widow, I didn't really like that too much. But yeah, we're gonna head it up. We had a 2-hour stream. It was great. Mark, shout out your channel one last time, please.
Mark with a C. Come on by. You will definitely get 100% me. I give you all of me. Well, why not take all of me? I talk about everything. Social, entertainment, philosophical, just connections, man. That's what I'm all about. Come on by the channel and check me out. You won't be sorry. Thank you guys for having me on.
One thing I learned about Mark, he is very eclectic because he be singing all kind of music. I'd be like, damn, I ain't heard that song in a long time.
And regardless, his videos are fire, like on point. You know what I mean? His videos are on point. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I just got to answer this. Dandelion said, at least we can all get the Hate Guardians holiday special together.
I didn't even watching it.
I am. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Oh, hell no.
You're gonna watch it.
I seen the trailer for it, and I'm like, yeah, this.
The only way I'm gonna watch it is also you say it got some fire music because it does have fire music. I give Guardians of the Galaxy. It has some fire music.
Yes,
other than that,
do.
I think Star-Lord is dumb as fuck.
Well, yeah.
Danny,
he's supposed to be.
Channel, brother.
I'm Danny A.K. Comment Chat. You can find me on this very channel 3 nights a week, Monday through Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no same time. Also on the Hangout, 8 o'clock. Do we have an upcoming roundtable anything also?
Coming up? I don't know what's coming up next. I don't know.
But anyway, on Saturdays at usually around 4:35. Now that the winter's sitting in Canada up there, you can find us on my channel doing a little sports show called Square One, where we talk all NFL, NBA, and the NFL has been pretty hot, and the NBA with Kyrie Irving. So if you're following that, please check us out. We usually talk about that because they really, you talking about putting the black man through some shit. They putting Kyrie through some shit now.
Facts.
But anyway,
we
man,
could be on here for another 5 hours talking about that.
Facts.
But thanks for the invite, man. It's a good show, man. I'm glad I was able to get home in time. I was blowing my little Prius up trying to get home.
It's always a pleasure, man. It's always a pleasure. I am Biggaford Entertainment. Thank you guys for popping in. We had a great amount of people watching today. Thank you guys for checking it out. I know it had to do with Mark, obviously, because motherfuckers don't come and watch me when it's just me, right? But Mark pops on the moon. Everybody shows up. It's all good, though. Hopefully, you guys found something entertaining, and maybe you want to stay and watch some more. If not, I do appreciate you for coming anyways, because it is what it is. When I started this thing, I thought I'd probably be streaming to like 1 or 2 people. So the fact that I have the few that came in, I do appreciate you guys once again. Make sure to check out everybody's channel. Make sure to sub to it and hit that notification so that you don't miss anything that they do. Tomorrow night too. Also, are you guys doing Dark Council tomorrow night?
No, we're on hiatus for the holidays. We'll be back strong in, I think it's a couple of weeks.
All right, so those guys are on a hiatus, and they will be back in a couple of weeks. But if you need something to watch, come check out the OOC. We usually have some fire topics over there, and we'll probably be getting into. We'll probably be getting back into some police fashion too on that.
Make me fucking sick.
Guys, make sure you check out the guy who doesn't have any legs. Did you see that one?
Oh yeah, I got that one on there.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I got that one for there. Yes, Mark. I got that one there. And then we got the wheelchair one in the jail cell. You seen that one too?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got those 2 on there for tomorrow night. It's gonna be.
I'm just gonna say I sent Anzo 10 clips of police officers doing positive things in the community and didn't show none of that shit on there. It wouldn't get no clicks or viewers.
You ain't gonna do that.
You know what I mean? I say one good cop for the show, which is Danny, is good enough. With Master S, we have the one good cop in there. We have met our quota of a good cop on this show.
No, I ain't gonna do no damn quota.
And Dark Council will be back December 7th, guys. So make sure to put that in your calendar as well. Absolutely. Peace, love, and hair grease, guys. See you on the next one.
Later.
Peace.
I am inevitable.
The Khaos List. Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right, Hanzo, here we go. Take N and Z, then throw in a O. Hanzo's the name, and this is the show. It don't matter what the haters say, cause everybody knows at the end of the day, the Khaos List comes on Tuesday nights. Describe it in word, dynamite. He brings fire to all the masses. He rocks a hoodie, a snapback, and a pair of glasses. Khaos List, the second show of the week. Questions so fire that they make you speak about issues that are universal. We talk about shit that's controversial. Sit back, chill, enjoy the show. His crew is ready. And here's Hanzo. Peace. Woo! Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Khaos List. Do not miss this. I'm gonna say that one more time. Do not miss this. Peace. Is there any stuff?
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.